What's up guys, Trav White here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna put our chemistry books down and pick up our self-development books. Self-development has been a huge part of my life and it's something I really enjoy talking about and I wanna share on this channel with you guys because it's really just helped shape who I am as a man.
You see, he's not a machine, he's a man!
And just the journey that I've been on. Today we're talking specifically about 6 ways you can become more attractive. This is actually not necessarily a dating video, but I do have a special guest on the channel. It's a fellow long-haired brother. His name is Alex Orlando. You might have seen him on the collaboration I did on Thomas in Action's channel, but he's an authenticity and dating coach for men, and he makes really great content surrounding self-development, dating, and even dating as a man with long hair. So we've put together 2 to 3 tips each for how you can become the most attractive version of yourself. Some of it talking about external changes you can make physically, and others that focus on the internal development needed to be an attractive man. So I'll start it off with some of my own tips, and then I will turn it over to Alex, and then he'll jump in. So let's get into it. So the first tip that I have for you is get uncomfortable. And why does this make you more attractive? Well, society today teaches that if something is uncomfortable, it's bad for you. You need to escape it, you need to go to a safe space, you need to get away from anything making you feel uncomfortable. The reality is, when you charge towards uncomfortability, or things that you're afraid of but you know can help you, is you're gonna get stronger. Now obviously take that with a grain of salt, don't go jumping into a pit of snakes or something like that. That's not brave, that's just stupid. Throw in some common sense with your uncomfortability, but when you get uncomfortable, you grow. Because you're facing new things. You're facing things that force you to come up with solutions. You're facing things that force you to change how you approach a situation, that force you to evolve, to adapt and overcome. And if you stay in your comfort zone your whole life, you're gonna become weak. Essentially, anytime something will get uncomfortable, you will start to blame someone else for that uncomfortability. But if you become stronger, you face that uncomfortability head on, and your relationship with fear changes. You move towards fear. So people who are quote unquote brave, they don't have a lack of fear. They feel fear in its entirety. They just have a different relationship with the feeling. They don't avoid it, they move towards it. And that's the relationship that you need to make with fear. Is whenever you feel something that scares you, it's usually because of the imagined consequence in your head of what will happen if you do something. For example, growing your hair out. Are people going to think you look feminine? Are people going to think you look like a hippie or homeless? But if it's something that is in your heart that is right, and this is getting a little bit beyond hair now, but the decisions you're making, the business you're starting, the charity you want to start, the people you want to help, if you move towards that truth knowing that what you're doing is right, it aligns with your values, then your life starts to become dictated by your values and no longer dictated by other people. And now you're dictating your own life. And there's nothing more attractive than a man who's dictating his own life. His values don't ebb and flow at the whims of other people's opinions. Now, that doesn't mean to have a closed off mind. If there's new information that comes to light, and new facts, and new science, and new research that comes to light showing that one way of doing something is better than another way, well then yeah, keep an open mind about things like that. But having a set of values that you live by based on the information at hand, and using that to lean into a scary situation or lean into fear, is ultimately what's going to bring you the most purpose. And a man with purpose, a man who dictates his own life, a man who stands for something, these are all things that are so attractive if you're looking for a partner. So that's my first tip, is to get uncomfortable. Put yourself in situations that are uncomfortable daily. So my next tip is to realize that genetics are not an excuse for being an unattractive person. Now, most of your external features, now we're talking about sort of external features, because let's face it, guys, visual first impressions are incredibly important when it comes to attraction. Yes, people will get to know your character afterwards, and they may or may not change an opinion, but a physical first impression, how you dress, how you carry yourself, your body language, your fitness level. These are all things that are human nature that people just notice visually. We are visual creatures. So to say that physical appearance and physical attraction does not matter is a huge lie. It's not the only thing that matters, but it does matter. So having said that, a lot of men jump to genetics as the excuse for why they're unattractive. They say, you know, I can't control my face shape, I can't control my height, I can't control my bone structure. And that's true to an extent. There's actually a lot of exercises you can do around the musculature of your face, not necessarily the bones. But while that is true, there's a lot more in your control than you realize. You can control how fit you are. You can go to the gym, you can pump iron, you can control how much cardio you do, you can control your diet, what you eat, you can control what your hairstyle is. You know, every face shape has a flattering hairstyle for them. I made a whole video on this topic, so go check it out, the best hairstyles for face shapes, linked below. You can also control how you dress. You can dress for your body type. You can wear clothing that flatters your silhouette. You can control your skincare. You can control your dental health. You can control your grooming. You can control your facial hair. You can have a skincare routine to fight redness and wrinkles and acne. You can go to the dentist twice a year for deep cleans and you can get your teeth whitened. You can experiment with a beard or a 5 o'clock shadow or clean shaven. My point is, once you have a strong understanding of who you are based on your values, based on the message you want to send to the world, you can change your entire appearance and your fitness and your grooming and your style. And this can do wonders for your external attractiveness. So you have a lot more in control than you realize. I always say that style and grooming is like the magic switch to changing who you are. You know, people say there's not a magic pill for becoming more attractive. And while that might be true for like fitness, putting on muscle mass and losing weight, all this does take time. But style and grooming, you can change that tomorrow. You can change that instantly. And these are definitely, you know, quick fixes or quote unquote magic pills that you can do to increase your attractiveness. Okay guys, those are my 2 tips that I have for you. I could go on talking about this stuff forever. Let me know if you want more content on attraction in the comments, or if you just want me to stick to chemistry and hair care and beards and stuff like that. But I'm gonna let Alex Orlando take it over for the rest of this video. Alex, great to have you on the channel, man. Take it over.
Hi guys, Alex Orlando here. And for those of you that don't know, I make content related to men's long hair, content related to dating, and I just generally put out content that is designed to help you become the best version of yourself. Trav, a massive thank you for letting me be in this video. Okay guys, raise your hand if you feel like your dating game improved when you grew your hair long. Mine did, and I'm pretty confident that it did for a lot of you guys as well. But the dating tips that I've got in this video are designed to get you thinking about yourself in a slightly different perspective. And I want to challenge you to think about things differently to how you have done before. Tip number 1, you need to develop a really strong sense of your own self-identity. So you've probably heard the term that confidence is really important when it comes to dating. And you probably have heard women say that they won't date a guy who's not got confidence. And whilst I agree with that, confidence is actually more important for slightly different reasons. We actually tend to be attracted to, and we actually tend to attract people with similar levels of self-esteem. So if you don't have confidence, you're probably not going to attract people with confidence. If you hide behind arrogance in order to mask a lack of confidence, you're probably going to attract the same thing. And a little spoiler alert for you now, that's probably not going to be what you want. So the best way to really develop confidence is to actually focus on yourself, develop yourself, and to really develop a strong sense of your own self-identity. Some of you guys probably found that when you grew your hair out, your sense of self-identity got a lot stronger, mostly because people were probably criticizing you and telling you that you should cut it. And the more you heard those criticisms, the less relevant and the less important they seemed. Well, this is what you need to do in your dating life. Every single time you get a rejection, park it, ignore it, move it to the side, and just accept that that person is not a good match for you. And rather than spending time wondering about who you can get, and rather than spending your time wondering about if you're good enough just because some people haven't wanted to date you in the past, change that and actually spend some time focusing on what it is that you want. So grab a sheet of paper, start thinking inside your head now, but think about the 3 most important values for you when it comes to dating somebody. These can be as broad as you want, and these can be as specific as you want. But essentially, this is about you taking control, you focusing on what it is that you want, and you developing a really strong sense of your own self-identity as a result of doing so. Tip number 2, you need to appreciate that life comes with a lot of journeys. And some of those journeys will be really easy, and others of those journeys will be really challenging. Think about the most challenging journeys that you've had in life. Here's the thing though, I'm willing to bet that in the vast majority of cases you did that. You started with something, you said you were going to get something done, and you then got it done. This is important, firstly because it really helps you to build respect for yourself, but this is important too because the more journeys you complete in life and the more things that you say you're going to get done, the more you become a man of action. And becoming a man of action is a really good place to start when it comes to being attractive. But I don't just want you to become a man of action. I want you to become a man of action who's excited by every single journey that he goes on in life. So you've probably got 4 areas on life where you really wish you could develop. You've got your physical health, you've got your mental health, you've got your career, and you've got developing relationships with the people in your life that matter. So set some goals, set some objectives for each one of those areas of your life. And every single time you meet someone, be really open about communicating these journeys. And if someone's not excited by it, if someone doesn't want to jump on and share that journey with you, that's okay. That person is not a good match for you and you can move on from that person. But the important thing is not changing. And the important thing is not changing what it is that you want out of life in order to prove it to somebody else. And my final tip is probably the most important, and it is definitely the best place to leave off. But you need to get really good at owning your vulnerabilities, owning your insecurities, and being able to communicate exactly what it is that you want. So this is the thing, right? I think a lot of guys try to change the external because they think by changing the external, they'll actually begin to become more attractive. And of course, the reality is that in the short term, that may work. It may even work in the medium term, but in the long term, it's definitely not going to be sustainable. So you need to start your development by focusing on the internal. You need to look at what it is that you've got and what it is that you think someone would like about you and really develop that. And if you've got a weakness, if you've got a shortcoming, spend some time identifying that and become excited by changing it. So don't spend your whole time trying to change everything that you think people are judging you on. Spend your time actually changing the things that matters. So spend some time developing your charisma. Spend some time being able to engage the room. Spend some time working on your energy level. Spend some time working on your emotional intelligence. These are all things that when applied to dating will be hugely attractive and will instantly make you stand out. So thank you so much for watching these tips. If you want to see more of my content, then please head over to my YouTube channel. You'll find a lot of things that are very similar and a lot of content that I think you'd get a lot from. So Trav, thank you once again.
Alex, man, those are some amazing tips. I really appreciate you coming on the channel. Guys, go check out Alex Orlando. I'm gonna have all his YouTube, his Instagram, his socials linked below. Go check out his stuff. He's a good dude. We need more good dudes on YouTube. So give this guy some love, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.